Good evening, it's Mark, Mike Zero, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. It's the 11th of August 2025 and something that will interest some people, not everyone. I think it's a bit of a niche area these days. Top band, AM and homebrew. So, you know, three quite niche areas, I think. But anyway, back in the 90s, Sprat magazine, the GQRP Club's magazine, Sprat magazine 84 from 1995, they produced a design, or somebody produced a design. Doug Gibson, G4 RGN, produced this. And sorry, this is the only way I can do it. This is the top band AM transmitter, 500 milliwatts output or thereabouts after the low pass filter, probably a little bit less. You know, a very basic design. Basically, he wanted to get everyone on top band nets, and these are great, you know, for point-to-point communications, possibly even skip. And of course, you have to use a separate receiver. So anyway, you can see this design uses quite old transistors, BC 109s. I was brought up on BC 109s, BC 108s, BC 107s. I think they're an NPN transistor, obviously silicon planar, I think. Or they might be point contact. I can't remember off the top of my head. Long time ago since I've used the old BC range, and the finals are BFY51. So you can see it's quite you know, a simple design. You've got your microphone, you've got the microphone preamp, you've got the modulator, you've got your VFO. You've got the buffer amplifier come first stage of amplification. You've got your final RF amplification, and you've got your low pass filter there, a single stage low pass filter. So you can see a very simple design, and I've built a few of these in the past. I may or may not have walked it down to the medium wave band, the top end of medium wave back in the day, but there you go. But anyway, this was improved upon some years later, and I think probably quite recently, when I say some years later, by Steve Hartley. And effectively, what he did here, some of the transistors were changed, I think, for 2N2222s, which, you know, is ubiquitous. It's like a more modern equivalent of the BC 109s, and you can see in the VFO stage he's used a FET, but essentially the same. You know, you've got your microphone, you've got your microphone amplifier, you've got the modulator, you've got the VFO, you've got your buffer amplifier, first stage of amplifying, and of course you've got the final amp there. And let's see if we can get that in focus. Sorry, I'm showing this to you off of my little Pi 400i, so a little Unix machine. But there you go. There's the transistor setup. Okay, so anyway, I belong to the Cray Valley Radio Society, you know, the local club in southeast London. I'm in northwest Kent, but it's southeast London. It's literally 10 minutes away from me, if that, as the crow flies. It's a lot less. But I was talking to one of the guys there, and every year we do a club project, and it's always, you know, we've done all sorts of club projects. And one of the things I said I wanted to do, because I have done a few talks on VFOs, transistor amplifiers, low pass filters, and IC LM386 modulators in the past, you know, I thought to myself, well, you put it all together, you've got an AM transmitter, and a good one would be the Poppet. And I suggested, you know, I wonder if we should do something along the lines of the Poppet as a club construction project. Once again, it's AM, it's top band, and it's, you know, it's the way I construct them, it was dead bug style. But Dav, M0WDV, now he's local to me, he come up with the idea that he'd like to design a PCB. So rather than dead bug, he wanted to do a PCB. And I thought, you know, fair enough, you know, it might be a bit expensive, but no, he had it in his mind that it could be done very cheaply. So he decided to go ahead, and I was aware that he had something in the planning, but I didn't know how far he'd got until this Thursday just gone, when he said, oh, by the way, I've had a load of boards made up, blah, blah, blah. I went, what? He said, yeah. He goes, for next year. He said, you know, we need a bit of evaluation, etc. So we come up to today, or at the weekend, we've come up with this. And here we are, single board. Well, I say it's a single board. It's actually a 4-layer board. So it's a 4-layer board. I believe one of the boards is the ground plane. It's surface mount technology. So the board comes pre-mounted with the resistors, capacitors, and inductors needed. Now, Dav has gone one stage further. The Poppet is no longer the Poppet. It's still an AM top band transmitter, but it also does CW. He's also added a push to talk for linear amplifier. He's also added transmit receive switching. He's done that using a Schmidt trigger, which is this chip here. This, I don't know if we can see this. Maybe if I was to put this down under the light and move the camera around, I'll show you the circuit diagram, etc. in a minute. But I don't know if that really shows up. Yeah, that shows up a lot better. A little bit of glare off the board, but look at that. It's fantastic. He's gone this far. So what he did was, we moved this out of the way. You can basically see, you know, the Poppet design there. There's no problem seeing, you know, the Poppet design, but he's used the Schmidt trigger there. That's the IC. It's 4-in-1 ICs. You can see he's got you know, the CW Kia and a wave shaping or you know, signal shaping to give you a nice I suppose wave shape, so you know it stops chirp and clicks and all the rest of it. He does credit the originals in his schematic. He does do that, so you know you can see that there. So he hasn't claimed it as his per se. He's just brought it into the 21st century. So you know, I've got one of these. He's made it a complete set of parts. Which I'm going to build and evaluate. Now, he did message me tonight that he's now got the wire. I need to get some 38 SWG wire. And also, he's produced a 3D printed plastic case for it, the knobs, tuning knob and everything. Looking at it, I did point out there was a few things that I wasn't too sure about. One was the VFO is totally unshielded from the rest of the radio. I'm not sure it's an issue, but you know, VFOs really need, if you can, to be encased in their own little box. I didn't want the plastic case. I've gone for my classic cigarette tin case. The cigarette tin, this case here, I've polished. If I remember rightly, it was tobacco for a pipe tobacco. But there you go. So that's got to be drilled and everything. But there is a perfect size for the transmitter itself. It will fit in there with some spacers just off the bottom of the tin, and that will give me plenty of space for various connectors for the tuning capacitor. He's using polyvaricons. I normally go air spaced on 100 puff capacitors, that sort of thing. So you've got the circuit diagram. I don't know if I can go through this. Maybe I won't. I think he's added some diodes here, I think, as part of the switching, I believe. He's got the low pass filter in multiple stages, and I can't remember he's using these as pin diodes, but I'll have to ask him about that again. There would be a board constructed minus the 2 toroids. So for the low pass filter, there's a couple of toroids that have got to be made, and there's an overlay. But there, I just thought it was worth showcasing as a first pass of what we have in mind. So it's the Poppet. The original design that was then updated has now been updated for the 21st century. Surface mount technology, multi-layer boards, etc. So, if you want to be on top band AM with a homebrew transmitter, I think this is probably, a lot further along than the original Poppet. I don't even know if we could call it the Poppet anymore. I don't know if Dave needs to come up with a new name, but the Super Poppet. There you go. But it's it's just something that I wanted to ramble on about, as I do in my way. The next video will be construction, and then the third video will be testing and on air. Just got to get round to it now. So in the next few days, I think I will be constructing this, and then I'll let you know how we get on. I'll do another video of construction, any pitfalls, etc. The idea is to mount it in your own box, or to have a 3D printed box. I know that Dav's box is very tight. It's not much bigger than the board itself, and you can see how small the board is. I mean, the original Poppet, you can build smaller than this, easily fit inside a tobacco tin. He's also made the original Poppet, I think, was carbon microphone or 600 ohm microphone. There was various microphones. Well, he's also made electric microphones, so he's added power for an electric microphone. So he's not convinced yet about the TR switching. He's not convinced, and he's wondering if maybe you'll be sending your half a watt up your receiver. Well, since I tend to use things like AR88s and big old valve receivers anyway, it's not going to be an issue for me. I don't expect anything to go bang. But yeah, it's just a thing that we need to play about with, or rather Dav needs to play about with. So Dav, M0MDV is the one who has come up with he's called it CVRS Poppet transmitter. So he's giving it a slightly different name. I think he's going to show Sprat magazine or the GQRP club. I think he is going to approach them with it. So he won't be claiming it as his own design, just really a 21st century update on the original 1995 transmitter. Well, I think I've rambled my way through this one. It's an interesting thing. I'm interested in top band, I'm interested in AM, and I'm interested in homebrew. Is he going to produce this as a kit? I don't know. Is he going to be selling just the board and you find your components? I don't know. Really, all I know is what I've sort of rambled on to you now. So there you go. M0 JCF is signing off, and I'll catch up with you later.